Well, on Fridays, we like to read some of the comments that we've received on the most talked about stories from the past week. And there is no question that the S storm in Washington over the S whole country's comment by the president comes in at number one. Patsy says, well, if he said that, he's not far off. They are not exactly bastions of free enterprise and cleanliness. By the way, Trump did not invent the word and is not alone in that opinion. An opinion, something everyone's entitled to, even the president of the United States. Patsy, you're right. You're 100% correct. But when you're a world leader, when you're the president, your words matter, and they cause reactions and firestorms, and that's what we're seeing here. I got this from John. Most people are tired of filtered politicians speaking platitudes out of both sides of their self-serving mouths. I like having a president that tells it like it is. John, thanks for your comment. There's a big difference in unfiltered and being callous and uncaring. It's bad enough to call a country that's predominantly a country of color an expletive, and then you throw gasoline on that comment by saying, why can't we have more immigrants from Norway, which is 90% white? His comments could be conceived as racist at worst and ignorant and unworthy of the office of president at best. Jonathan says, Mark, it's inconceivable to believe that the leader of the free world would denigrate other countries the way our president so frequently and flippantly does. People immigrate here for an opportunity to have a life, a future. Jonathan goes on to say, I would like to know what his immigrant wife or ex-wife would have to say in private on this subject. Good point, Jonathan. I also asked the question this week because it's been talked about extensively in Washington. If a president, any president, regardless of party, should have to, along with their annual physical exam, undergo a yearly psychiatric exam. Makes sense to me considering what's at stake. Let's see what some of you had to say. Rick answered, police have to undergo psychiatric evaluation along with air traffic controllers and a ton of people that hold others' lives in their hands. So yes, a president should have an evaluation. But Billy didn't like the question and asked, what about newscasters? Well, Billy, the difference is I don't have a red phone or a nuclear button and I can't order airstrikes. You're talking apples and oranges. I got this from Carol. Mark Curtis, no, you cannot launch a war or put your finger on the button, but your newscasting can do just as much damage to our nation by being one-sided and biased. I've been on this earth for 66 years, and I have never in my life seen so much criticism from what's supposed to be fair and unbiased reporting as I have against this president. You are guilty of letting your feelings show in your broadcasting. Carol, do you honestly not think that if George Bush or Barack Obama had made some of these recent comments in front of a room full of lawmakers, why do we have all these immigrants from S-hole countries coming here? Or, I have a bigger button than he does. Or, I'm a stable genius, that it wouldn't have created the same uproar? You know the answer to that. And we give the last word to Patricia. I think before they're even sworn in, they should be able to pass a mental fitness test. As when they get elected, what they do or say affects not only the U.S., but the world. Being POTUS is a great responsibility, and me personally, I would want to know whoever is elected is mentally fit. Patty, me too. Bottom line is, as Americans, we should have a right to expect that our president, whoever he or she is mentally and physically fit. As always, we thank you for your comments. I read them all, good and bad, and sometimes we'll just have to agree to disagree.